Navneet Bhalla, the executive director of Manavi, a South Asian women's organization in USA, discusses the organization's upcoming annual gala and more. Take a look. Thank you, Navneet, for joining us today. Please tell our viewers about your role in Manavi.
First of all, thank you so much to ITV Gold and all of you for having me here to represent Monavi. So Monavi, as you said, is the very first organization founded in the United States to support survivors of gender-based violence. And for the past 38 years, we have been providing culturally specific and linguistically accessible services to South Asian survivors across New Jersey. I am fortunate enough to be the executive director at Monavi to support survivors, and very proud that we have a very dedicated team of staff and volunteers and board who work very hard collectively to support our mission.
So, Navneet, can you talk about the upcoming gala, which is happening on April 27th?
Yes, absolutely. We are very, very excited to host Monavies Gala on April 27th, which will be hosted at the Marigold in Somerset at 6 p.m., 6 to 10 p.m. Tickets are almost sold out, so if you haven't bought your ticket yet, please do so. It's a fundraising gala, which essentially means we will be raising awareness about our mission, but at the same time, it's going to be a very entertaining evening. We will have cocktail hour, 3-course dinner, dancing, live entertainment with comedy shows and dance performance, as well as a silent auction that goes on throughout the night with various paintings, jewelry, and various items. And all the proceeds will be going to support survivors and to support Monavi's mission. So we really hope that you will all come out to support Manavi, but also to have a good night.
So, Navneet, this sounds so wonderful. So tell us, where can people buy the tickets for the gala?
Sure. So right now you are able to buy tickets by logging on to our website, manavi.org, but also there is a link, a Vibrance link, which is currently being, I think they're going to share it right here on the screen throughout the interview. So you can click on that link online to buy the tickets, but also if you log on to our website, Manavi, manavi.org, on the homepage, there is a link that will take you right to where you can buy the tickets.
So since, you were earlier just talking about what is included in the gala, so can we get to meet and hear the real survivors?
Yes, and that actually is the most important part of the gala and the most meaningful part of the gala. Manavi has hosted galas every year, and we've been doing this work for the past 38 years. Due to COVID, we didn't have a gala for the last 3 years, so we're excited that we have resumed our galas again, and we absolutely will have a survivor who will share their personal story and their personal journey as to how they were a victim of gender-based violence and how at Monavi we supported them with our services and really sharing their personal story.
And that is absolutely wonderful. And can you also tell us more about the programs and services that Manavi provides?
Yes, so Manavi is a culturally specific agency, which means we are very aware that survivors, South Asian survivors of gender-based violence, face unique cultural and linguistic barriers, which is why we provide culturally specific services, including culturally specific counseling, culturally specific advocacy. We have a robust legal advocacy program, and we have an in-house staff attorney. We have a 24-hour multilingual hotline where we have advocates who speak up to 14 South Asian languages, and it is 24/7, so any survivor is able to contact us anytime, day or night. And also one of the most valuable services that we have is Ashiana, which is our transitional home that was founded in 1997 And it's the only culturally specific transitional home of its kind on the East Coast. So it's very unique, and that's how we really provide housing and support for women and children to accommodate them. We also provide sexual assault support services and various support groups. And we also provide outreach, training, and a range of other services too.
Wonderful. And it sounds like, Manavi is doing a great job for an important social cause. So, how can people get involved with the organization and support your mission?
Well, there are various ways that the community can support us. First one, I think the most important way that you can support us is by donating. As you know, this work is really important and much needed in our community right here in New Jersey. So I would urge everyone listening, please donate, please attend the gala. That is one of the best ways that you can support survivors, because the ticket that you purchase, the proceeds of that ticket will directly go to supporting survivors and our mission. You can also get involved by volunteering. So you can log on to our website. You can email us at manavi@manavi.org if you have any questions. But donating, attending the gala, buying your tickets, there is still time, 7 days left to our gala, and you can absolutely buy them still and spread the word, raise awareness.
Wonderful. Navneet, the question that's coming to my mind is, how are the social issues for South Asian women in US different than, other races?
And that's a very good question that I think is important for people in the audience to hear, that we all know that domestic violence transcends all races, ethnicities, socioeconomic boundaries, genders, but it is important for us to be aware that South Asian survivors do face unique cultural and linguistic barriers. For instance, we serve survivors who may be immigrants, as well as survivors who may be citizens. But the reason I mentioned the immigration piece is very often we see that abusers use immigration as a tool to control the survivors. They will say things like, we will report you to the authorities or have you deported if you report the abuse. Language access is a huge barrier where survivors may not speak the language fluently, and the abuser is the one that controls the narratives and can put out a false report against the survivor. And ultimately, it's important to understand that domestic violence is rooted in power and control. And where South Asian survivors may feel vulnerability because they are immigrants, they are unfamiliar in navigating the legal system in this country, they do not speak the language. And imagine how you would feel if you are isolated and you are dependent on the very person and you basically who's abusing you. So I think those are some of the unique challenges that survivors from our communities face.
So, Navneet, one more question that's coming to my mind is, we have been talking about women. Let's talk about guys. Are there opportunities for men to get involved in supporting your mission?
I'm so glad you asked that question. That's one of my favorite questions, in fact. I think I'm going to begin by saying that, yes, absolutely. In fact, we do want South Asian men and men across the board to be part of ending gender-based violence. And we want them to be part of supporting the movement against gender-based violence. In fact, at Monavi, we started a program called Engaging Men as Allies. And what we essentially are doing are, we have a committee that we formed where we have South Asian men, as it's called a community coordinated response team, where they are part of some of the work that we are doing to bring them in as allies, to help with community outreach and education, so that we are sending the message that gender-based violence is as much men's issue as it is women's. And I will go one step further, that at Manavi, we are inclusive and we serve survivors of every gender identity. So it's not really specifically serving women only. We are inclusive and we will serve survivors of every gender identity, sexual orientation, and various other identity markers, because we think it's important to send the message that we are inclusive and we believe in equity and safety for all.
Navneet, you were earlier talking about the housing part of it. So can you just elaborate on that, which is provided by Manavi?
Yes, sure. So I think Ashiana is a very valuable and unique service that we provide. And very often people think of housing as housing shelters, which are short-term shelters, and survivors or people may go there for short-term and then they move on. But Ashiana is very unique in that it's not a shelter, but it's a transitional home, which means that we actually accommodate survivors and children there for up to very long term, up to 18 months, and sometimes even longer, because we believe that it's important for survivors to have the opportunity to rebuild their lives. So we provide, it's a rent-free facility, and we provide groceries and all support services, economic empowerment, job skills, training, education, to ensure that survivors who come to Ashiana and after 18 months or so when they leave, they are ready to rebuild their lives independently and financially.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today. And is there anything else you would like to add about the gala?
The most important thing I have to say about the gala is that as soon as this interview is over and you finished listening to everything I have to say, please go and log on Monavies website. And if you can share the link here, if you have the Vibrance link, but Monavi website would have the link right there on the homepage, monavi.org, and you can buy your ticket there, spread the word, bring your friends and families. It's going to be a wonderful event to raise awareness, to support survivors, but also full of amazing live entertainment. So it'll absolutely be worth it for you to attend.
Thank you so much, Navneet, and wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.